Mas olha, tu sabes, pois eu gostei muito de ver aquilo outro dia, meu. O filme que a gente foi ver ao cinema, gostei bem.
Ok.
Gostei bem.
Eu gostei, mas eu tinha acabado de fazer uma brasileira. Sabes a depilação brasileira?
Sim.
É brutal, meu.
É.
Tens que experimentar.
E um anal bleach, já experimentaste também?
Nem me fala. Espera aí, está bem, estou a pensar noutra coisa. Isso é quando vais descolorar ou não sei o que era.
Eu presumo que sim. Sim, é isso mesmo.
Pois eu sei isso tudo.
É.
Tens de falar com o Júlio. Que é o
Que
meu.
jogo. Ok, então depois dá-me o número, tá bom.
Alright. And hello again, and welcome back to the Bastercast. This is the fourth time we're trying to start this third Bastercast, so 4 out of 3 ain't bad. In a scale of 1 to 10, this is starting out as a 5, a solid 5. Yeah, so I'm Antonio.
I'm Bruno.
And welcome back. He's my partner as always. Right, and we'll just skip past that part. And yeah, so Bastercast by this is the fourth try. I lost count. I'm that tired. But anyway, here we go. I'm a film director and actor and writer, and
I'm a film composer and an audio engineer.
And together we were the Creative Basterds, a creative platform where we just let out any stupid idea that comes to mind. That's why we started this thing 4 times already, and I hope this is the last one, because I'm actually tired of doing this. We created also the web series called Audio Tales, so if you enjoy great storytelling, great sound design, and great music, check that out. We're just about to launch the 3rd episode. We're actually going to relaunch all of the episodes again because it's been a big hiatus, and given that the demand is high,
it is
because as you know, and we know, the first episode was selected again to be in the official selection
in a movie film festival,
international film festival, yeah,
in Germany, in Weiterstadt.
So demand is high, and we're still scouting the world with our audio tales. We're going to relaunch everything. The 3rd is about to come out, so pay attention to that.
Yeah.
And also the 4th and the 5th are in current production. We are just recording the voiceovers and doing the
soundtrack and sound design.
So pay attention to that. Yeah. This is going to be a monthly thing from now on. So all of you people who are thirsty for good stories, just, hit the notifications bell, subscribe, tell your friends, everybody's going to enjoy it. Everything is wholesome. There are no fucks and shits in the audio tales thus far. We'll see what happens.
And the podcasts are going to be every 15 days.
Yeah, every 2 weeks we're going to have a new podcast, so pay attention to that. We are still working out the scheduling because, everything is happening all at once. But here we go. Okay. Ding, ding, ding. All right. Now, for those who don't know how this plays out, if you're making me do this one more time, I swear to God, this is the last time I'm going to tell you. This is how things are going to play out. I have a topic I want to talk about. Bruno has a topic he wants to talk about. And then at the end, we have a bonus topic. Okay? We've been over this. If you haven't learned this by now, just go and listen to the first 2 Bastercasts.
Yes. And sometimes we have a caller, for example. And
yep. Lines are open.
Let's see. Yeah.
This is it's like a treasure hunt. If you find the right number to call, go ahead and use it because, we're looking forward to hearing from you.
Yeah.
So, who's going to kick this one off?
You two. You first.
Too?
You too, yeah.
I too start this one now.
Go ahead, sir. I
am going to do it. All right. So, my first topic for today is... this is... I'm getting the jitters because we've been talking off air about this for a long time. So, little context. By now, we all know about the Ghostbusters reboot with an all-female cast, right?
Yeah, that is past, right?
I know, yeah, that is past. Some people say that past, present, and future happens at the same time, so that depends. But that was 2016.
Yes.
All right, so we had the Ghostbusters reboot with an all-female cast, which went down the shitter.
Still wondering why they had to make that movie.
And that's exactly my point. And now we had with the Feminator. Is that what they're calling it? The Terminator with an all-female cast?
I didn't know that.
I think some people are calling it that. I like it. I don't know. I think it sticks. I haven't watched it yet. Let's see what happens with that one. I don't know. Rotten Tomatoes. You tell me. And I think there's something else in the works. I forget now what it was. But we also had, in the Marvel movies, we had that girl power moment in Avengers Infinity War. So here's my point, though. I want to focus on the rebooting with gender swapping.
Okay.
And here's the point. My question is,
Yes.
is this a hint of the time? I mean, is this an indictment of the times when it comes to needing more female roles or more female starring roles? Or is this an indictment to the lack of creativity in Hollywood?
The second one.
All right, let's go.
And
This is
lots of pandering.
pandering.
around.
Yes, pandering. I think so too. But let's explore this. So, I, like you, think it's lack of creativity. What can they do to, invert this trend? Because we see it at the box office. The box office is paying attention, and I'm not talking about inflating the box office artificially by the production companies buying seats that for people who don't show up. That's not what I'm talking about. Yes, Disney, I'm looking at you.
Not only Disney. Yeah,
Not only Disney. This is it's like the Volkswagen moment.
Yeah.
It's not just Disney doing it, but this does happen. However, inflation aside, artificial inflation aside, the box office is reflecting the demand for such a product, and it's just not there. So, what can Hollywood do?
Is it though?
You mean the box office?
Yeah, the box office is demanding for the gender swap.
No, that's what I mean. The box office is showing the exact opposite.
Okay.
What happens is because the marketing schemes are so good,
Yeah.
you have a very big initial boost,
Yes.
which is the opening weekend, because the marketing, I don't know how much of the budgets are used for marketing purposes, but I would imagine at least 20% or 30%, maybe more. I don't know. But I know that millions are spent marketing, and you see that in the opening weekend, right? But what happens is, when I say that the box office is showing the lack of demand for such a product, is because as time goes on, you go to the movies, and these movies in particular are, there's no one in those rooms, and they stay on for 3-4 weeks if need be. So, what do you think about that?
Look, first of all, I think they should stop with all of this shit, and if they don't have any ideas, just don't do anything. My opinion is, I don't see a new movie in cinemas. For how long? I mean,
you haven't seen something truly original.
Truly original, yes.
Yeah.
We both saw Anna.
Yeah, so this is
from Luc Besson.
Luc Besson's Anna. Yeah,
it's not a completely original
theme or story.
But I really love the movie.
Yeah.
Yes, but the thing is, every single week you go to a cinema, to a movie theater or something like that. You see lots of posters from reboots, remakes, spin-offs, whatever. It's and sequels. For example, this new sequel right now is from Fast and Furious, Hobbs and Shaw. Why?
It's a spin-off, right?
It's
I think it's a spin-off.
I don't know.
Is it? Yeah.
I think
it's
I
murky.
Think so.
It's murky.
I really love the actors there. Jason
Statham and
The Rock and Idris Elba.
Idris Elba, yeah.
Amazing actor.
Yeah.
I really like him. But I'm not going to see that movie.
Yeah, me neither.
Maybe I'll see it at home, but because it's too much, and we don't see almost nothing new. And I don't think that gender swapping and doing other stuff is just because lack of creativity. It is also, but it's something else. It's political.
Yeah, of course.
Know that. And it's not needed. It's unwanted. For I don't know, for movie's sake, for movie history's sake, it's not needed.
Yeah, and the box office shows it.
I'll give you an example. For example, one movie that I really liked, it was Jackie Brown.
Oh yeah.
From Quentin Tarantino. Love that movie. I would hate to see a white guy doing, I don't know, John Brown, something like that.
Yeah.
Why the fuck would they do that?
Yeah.
That's just no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, because that's not the point of that movie. It's not whether the character is white.
No,
black.
it's not. It's the character. It's Jackie Brown, and should stay like that.
Yeah, and it's that movie is a lot, as most of, all of Tarantino's movies, they have a lot of personality, and that one is, yes. It's very clear what he wanted to do with that movie. So just changing the main character to white or black or Asian, it is black, but changing it to white or Asian or any other,
or to a man,
it just doesn't make sense. However, we are talking about properties that are long-standing. And now they're being gender swapped. And the other one I was trying to remember was just the recent one, which is the rumor that the new James Bond is going to be a black woman. What is the need for that? Where is the demand for that?
Pandering.
Yeah, it is pandering.
It's only pandering.
Yeah.
Or it's fake news, or it's some kind of
marketing
fireworks because something is going wrong and we have to look the other way.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It is.
But what I've read, spoilers. I don't know if they are spoilers or not. What I've read about it, it's that somewhere in the movie, someone says 007, please come in, or is entering. I don't know. But and then who comes in the room or whatever? It's a woman. Mm-hmm. It's I don't remember her name, but it's the one that's done.
She was in Captain Marvel.
Yeah, she was the other pilot.
Yep.
And my opinion is simple. 007 is James Bond.
Yeah.
No one else. If they want to do, if you want to put anyone, another guy, a woman, a black or Asian woman, or a black or Asian dude. Mm-hmm. Call it 008.
Oh, yeah, that's... Okay, so
do something else.
Yeah, so I actually listened to another podcast today where they were all in with the new James Bond news and all of this. And that's one of the things they said. And these are James Bond fans, like hardcore James Bond fans. We are James Bond fans. We've always been since we were kids. We grew up on this. But I'm talking about people who watch the movies, like each movie 10 times, read all the books, they have everything. Yes. I mean, I've watched all the movies, but not 10 times. So that's what they were saying. They were saying, listen, why can't there be 005 James Bond that is a black woman or an Asian man? Who cares, man?
Yeah.
But there are two 00s that you can't touch. Well, I mean, if you want to be faithful to the mythology, which is 006. Trevelyan is there. Yeah. It's Sean Bean. He was 006, and I think there was a 009. I think so. I think that's the last 00, and I think somewhere throughout James Bond history, I think it was mentioned, and I think one of them said all of the 00s have been mentioned in the lore. I'm not sure if it was the movies or the book, but they were mentioned. Anyway, you can do a lot with all of those 00s. Yes. Imagine that there was a 0010 that everybody forgot to mention. Yeah. Even maybe there was a 000. Yeah. You don't know. But why change the main character? Why not leave it alone? And
they shouldn't do that.
And this is the point that I wanted to get to: is create new stuff.
Exactly.
I mean, this comes all the way back to the Black Spider-Man, for example. He occupied the multiverse, and that's a different thing.
Yeah, a completely
You're exploring the multiverse. Of course, there's going to be a black. There's even a Spider Pig, right? And by the way, I watched Spider-Man Into the Multiverse. Fantastic. I did not expect that. Yeah. It's a. If you like the comics, which my favorite Marvel hero was always Spider-Man. My favorite DC hero was always Batman. So I followed Spider-Man since I was like 11 or 12. Religiously. Yeah. And if you enjoy the experience of reading comics and reading superhero comic books, watching that movie is that experience as a movie. Really? It's really good. The movie. Yeah, I did. I watched it recently, and it's really, really good. But that's one thing. You're exploring the multiverse. You're exploring alternate version of Spider-Man. That's cool. And if you want to explore the possibility of a James Bond multiverse, well, I mean, it's tapping into science fiction, and it doesn't really fit. But there are other ways of doing it, and the other 00s are a nice way of doing it.
Yeah, something in the 007 universe, something. But I actually think that's diminishing.
what they're doing now.
Yeah. For the actress itself.
Oh, and her name is Lashana Lynch.
Okay, they should do something new for her.
Yeah.
Create a new character, a new movie, a new universe. I don't know.
Yeah.
As for example, Anna, the movie that we saw, perfect.
Yeah. It was really good. I mean, Luc Besson has his own way of doing things, right? I think he's one of those directors where you either, most of what he's done, you either love it or hate it. I think that's what I hear from people.
I really like some things and the others don't.
So you just proved my theory wrong. Yeah. You don't either love it or hate it.
I'm here for that.
Yeah. Thank you. Oh, that's what I like. Dissidents.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he's one of those directors where you like some of it and you don't like some of it. So for example, Lucy is like a lukewarm thing for me.
Okay,
I like the idea. I mean, I think most of the movie is actually pretty solid. I think Scarlett Johansson, for the most part, did a really good job. She did fall back on some of her traits as an actress, which I don't really like, and which she didn't do in Her, which we mentioned in a previous episode. You just go listen to the previous episodes. I don't need to go back to this, okay? Anyway, Luc Besson, one of his most balanced movies yet, Anna. Right?
Yes.
I think it's one of his most well-balanced movies. And listen, there are certain topics that he touches upon, which are topics that are also touched upon in these movies that want to pander and gender swap, which is the main character is not just a woman, she's also a lesbian. Or for example,
I actually don't think she's a lesbian.
No, that's what I mean. I mean, most movies who want to pander to the current political landscape, and especially these are just issues that only Twitter people are into these issues. It's not
forced.
Most of the fans.
It's not natural.
Yeah, it's not natural. But in Anna, it was really well made.
Yes.
She has missions. She has to accomplish certain things.
She has boyfriends. She has girlfriends.
And spoilers. Sorry.
Yeah,
spoilers.
She does everything.
Yeah. And just let your imagination dwell on that one. But he did it really well. He balanced it out. He made it purposeful. Yeah, that's the point.
Exactly.
He made it purposeful.
Exactly.
Okay, so
and for me, she's perfect for the role.
Yeah. I think she was really good. I think she was really good. Yeah, and he wasn't afraid to show the nitty gritty of doing that line of work. So here's a really good female character. And by the way, what did I tell you before we went into the movie theater? I said that one thing that made me hesitate to watch that movie was Helen Mirren. And I like Helen Mirren.
But something in particular, right?
Yeah, the poster.
The poster, yes.
When I saw her on the
poster.
Listen, I'm an actor as well, and I only bring this up to tell you that I can spot a mile away when an actor is not doing an actual character, but it's doing a caricature of something. And that's what I saw on that poster. And in the trailer, I thought, okay, she's just doing a caricature of a strong Russian
during
woman.
the movie.
Yeah. So, but then in the movie, I thought, okay, she's not, she's actually well balanced. Yeah. It's a little bit a caricature, but it's not full blown.
Yeah, but I bought it.
Yeah, I bought it. Yeah. That's what I mean. So that's the only thing that made me hesitate. Great characters, and it is in a way, not all the way, but in a way it's female driven, which is to me the right way to do it. If you want to see a female driven plot, not completely, but you'll know.
But partially it is.
Partially it is. Yes. I mean, a lot of it is.
Yes.
I would say half. 50% of it is, and it's well done. If you want to know how to do it, check this one out.
It's really good.
Just don't. I mean, there's a big cult following behind these properties. Ghostbusters, James Bond. There's a big cult following, and what they're doing is, like you say, and very well, which I agree, they're not just pandering. It's insulting to the people that are actually. I think that it's kind of insulting that to the people that you want to pander to. Yes. Why not just create a whole new thing of their own?
Yes.
Look, Black Panther is a great a character in the comics. I didn't really like the movie, but it is a great character in the comics, and he was supposed to be a black character. Does anybody have a problem with that? I don't think so. So why not just, again, create new properties for every spectrum of society that you want, and you'll generate your own cult following and your own fans, and that's how you do it. That's how you build it up. But you have to have a good property. You have to have a good product, which brings me to my first point. What can Hollywood do to reverse this trend? What do you think?
I don't know. I really don't know, because I was going to tell you that maybe they're over there. They're thinking the same thing. They're asking the same questions, but I really doubt it, because every fucking week we see the same thing with a different face.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to tell you, but what can they do? I don't know. It's like in the other Bastercast we did.
Just go listen to it, please.
Yeah. We talked about what the future of sci-fi and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's the same thing. If they want to salvage this, I don't know, hire better writers, risk a little.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one I was looking for. Risk more.
Yeah.
Because that's when I say that creativity is lacking in Hollywood, that's what I mean. They're not risking. Yeah. What are they doing? I mean, people that grew up on these properties like Back to the Future, Die Hard, and everything else. I mean, we grew up on
this. But all of that is being destroyed. They're not risking. Actually, if we think like that, they are actually risking, and they're doing bad stuff to it. You know, they're going to put all women in Ghostbusters, and then they put only women in Terminator. And my question is why? How does that help the story? How does that help the franchise?
It doesn't.
It doesn't. A good story, and then first we need a really, really good story, then we see if it's all female or all male or don't,
or it doesn't,
or mixed.
matter.
It doesn't matter. But the stories suck,
because you know what it is. It's entertainment.
Yeah, exactly.
It's entertainment.
Exactly.
People want to go to the movies. Listen, I'm one to tell anyone that if I don't go to the movies and walk out at least a little challenged in some way, if it hasn't challenged me, it's just a waste of time. So I'm the first person to say that. But for it to challenge you, it's not putting, it's not just cramming a message into it. The message needs to come out. It needs to flow out of the story, not be crammed into the story.
Yes.
Listen, we keep harping on about this. What is one of our favorite female characters of all time?
Helen Ripley.
Helen Ripley. She was written for a man. A woman played the part. Perfect. She played it
one of
perfectly.
My heroines, yes.
Yeah, she played it perfectly.
And she's not the only
She has
one.
the right vulnerability.
Yes.
She was in that movie. The character herself was thrown into a situation she did not want to be, and it's kind of like what Sigourney Weaver as an actress went through.
Yes.
She found herself in the middle of this big production, and she wasn't really ready for it.
Exactly.
So it was perfect casting. I mean, I bet you if you put a man in that role, it would have been forgetful.
Yeah, I can imagine so. Yes.
Yeah, because the 80s were filled with movies, sci-fi movies and horror movies that were male-driven, right? So, I mean, that was perfect.
And another really good character that you have, it's in Terminator 1 and 2.
Sarah Connor.
Sarah Connor.
She was amazing.
But come on, for me, Terminator is all about Schwarzenegger.
Of course,
it's not about Sarah Connor, but she's a hell of a female character.
Yeah, and she's one of the leads.
Yeah, she's one of the leads.
She's one of the leads. She's right there with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
And she's the one who kills
She's the most. Listen, she's the most badass human being in that movie.
In that movie, exactly.
Because the Terminator is a machine. She's the only fucking human being who has the guts to stand up for these things.
Yes.
To these things, I mean.
But that's how we all should do things. Not like today. Not like the thing that they did in Star Wars with.
And I'll tell you what. I'll go even a step further.
Yeah.
If John Connor was with his father instead of his mother, it wouldn't be as powerful.
No. No. You're right.
That's
You're
it.
right. You're
Because
right.
she played it perfectly, and you have the balance there, and the idea of creating the idea of a T2, which I mean, come on, Terminator, the first movie was amazing. It's amazing, period. But T2 elevated the whole franchise. I mean, it just boosted it up to iconic.
Yes.
And the idea, he didn't just write an action flick. The idea that this boy who hasn't had a family finds himself in the middle of the weirdest family you can imagine. A rebel mother who's estranged. I mean, she hasn't been in his life. She's borderline.
She was committed.
She was committed, but when she comes up, I mean, he refuses to believe. Well, he believes that she's crazy, but then he sees all these things happening, and John Connor understands my mother's not crazy, but us as spectators, we know that she's borderline losing her mind over everything that's happened to her. With reason. And then there's this machine from the future who's a father figure now. Or a brother figure or a father figure. So, I mean, this is brilliant. The idea, the level of insight that this man had to have just to create this notion. I mean, it's brilliant. So the story itself is about, in a way, family.
Exactly.
Disguised as an action flick.
It is.
I mean, it's a fantastic. I mean, and come on, when you watch that movie, the way that Terminator dies with the OK sign. I mean, if your heart isn't just boiling with emotion by that part, I mean, you're not human. You're probably a sociopath. So let's go back to this. Create new property that will pay the due homage to the hero, or make the hero go through the greatest challenge of his life, and that makes it meaningful, not the other way around.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes. I don't think you saw, but I'm a huge fan of Star Trek, as you can see that. Poster there.
But we both are. I came into it a little later than you, though.
Yeah, I've seen almost everything, not everything, because I began seeing Star Trek Discovery.
That's how you went into it? The first thing you saw was
No. I saw the movies and then the original series and TNG, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
All of it. And then when I began seeing Star Trek Discovery, series.
Never mind. I was thinking about the older Star Trek.
In
Discovery is the new one.
Yeah, Netflix, and I tried. Dude, no, seriously, I really tried, but I couldn't. It's not just all of that shit that people already talked about because of the main character not being someone likable. It's the story itself. It goes against everything Star Trek is, and I really I like action movies, and I know that sometimes Star Trek TNG was really campy. Okay,
yeah, definitely.
And action-wise, didn't have
a lot of action.
Yeah, a lot of action, and I do like if they put that. What I don't need is lens flare. Really, I don't. And pandering again.
Yeah.
And Star Trek Discovery for me is pandering.
Yeah.
Do you know you do know?
I know what you're talking about.
You know the name of the character. The
main character.
Yeah, of the main character.
She's a black woman.
Yeah, she's a black woman. But her name is Michael.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, this is old news. Okay.
For you, maybe.
Yeah. I saw the Klingons completely different. It's okay, but I try to like it.
I know. You kept telling me. I mean, I watched the trailer. I saw the posters or the marketing pictures, and when you told me, give it a chance, you kept telling me, give it a chance because it's not that bad. Give it a chance, and I kept, I'm gonna hold out on that.
I gave up in the second season, but in the beginning of the second season, because they even brought Spock, and actually she's half sister of Spock. And come on, Nev, no, he doesn't have anything like that.
No,
the closest thing to a brother or a sibling that Spock has, it was I don't remember the character's name.
The forbidden.
It's the Star Trek 5.
Yeah.
You know,
He has a brother. I think it's half brother.
Yeah. It's not Selleck or something like that. I don't remember. Sarek. No,
Sarek.
Sarek
is
the father.
Yeah.
I don't remember his name, of the character, but that's it.
The Final Frontier is what we were talking about. Yeah.
Really great soundtrack.
Yeah, really great soundtrack.
But that's it, and they changed everything. And now Michael, it's the center of the universe in Star Trek. That's what they're doing, you know. In that, it's too much power in one person. And Star Trek is not like that. Even if you have Picard, Kirk leading, you know. You still have all the other characters that are unforgettable, and they have storylines of themselves. You don't see that happening here in Star Trek Discovery. It's all about Michael, a little bit about the other actress, her best friend, and that's it. It's just terrible.
Yeah, but they're using the old mythologies of Star Trek that made it great to make this character great. She isn't great on her own, is what I'm hearing. Yeah. Is that true?
She isn't great on her own.
I mean, say what you will about Picard, but
no, Picard,
I don't
Kirk.
know if anybody. Is there anybody? Listen, if there's anybody out there listening right now that doesn't like Picard, let us know in the comments below why that is. Because I haven't found in my entire life a single person that didn't like Picard. He was vulnerable, just like Kirk. I mean, Kirk had all those, you know. He was really
vulnerable.
But he was vulnerable. I mean, in every situation go watch the original series. I haven't watched a single episode where he didn't fear for his life or the life of his crew, and that's vulnerability.
And in the movies as well.
And that's how you overcome. That's the hero is not the one who's not afraid. Is the one who stands up to what he's afraid of, right? And by the way, Spock's brother was Cyborg, yes. And he was played by the great Lawrence Luckinbill.
Yeah.
I mean, I when I watched the movie, it was a long time ago, and I didn't know anything about the movie, and I loved it. And I didn't expect Spock to have a brother, but what a great twist.
I've seen that movie, I don't know, 5 times or so, back in the day, but
The Final Frontier, man.
VHS.
I mean, to have a direct conversation to a self-proclaimed god.
Yeah.
I mean, amazing.
Yeah,
amazing.
And it's really simple.
Yeah, it's really simple.
It's a really simple plot.
Yeah.
For example, Star Trek also has really good female characters, for example.
Uhura.
I love Uhura.
Yeah,
but later on, you have 7 of 9, for example. It's a really, really good character. And also, it appears that she's going to... it appears now. I've seen the trailer for the new Picard series.
Oh, yeah.
And that's... I still don't know what to think, but 7 of 9 is going to be there, and also Data, I think.
Data?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, man. But if that's not the Trek... One of every Trekkie's favorite character.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I mean, Data.
Yeah.
See, okay, here's how you do it well. You didn't make up a character that was somehow related to Spock. And here's how Data, for those who don't know, here's how Data and Spock are similar. They're both void of emotion most of the time, and they both make all of their decisions based on logic. So this is where the similarity starts and ends. I mean, they're the right arm. They're one of the captain's greatest allies.
Yes.
Okay, so that's another similarity, I guess. But that he is not. He is in no way related to Spock. Yeah. He is basically a cyborg.
Yes.
And that's what Spock was almost in terms of thinking. Yeah. He was almost a cyborg because of his emotional distance.
They had lots of aliens in the original series.
Yeah.
And in the Starship Enterprise, but he was the most alienated person there, and then he grew by himself, you know, and he got his position in the starship. So that's how you do it. You don't put someone. Look, for example, this Michael character. they pretend to give her flaws by making her being a bit of, I don't know, impulsive and doing some mistakes in the first episode or second, or I don't remember. But then it's like, oh, but she's like this because she is a strong woman, because she knows what she wants, and fuck all that. Because we're talking about Star Trek. It's
just
we always had strong women in Star Trek. Come on,
dude,
it's not the way.
Just the way you told me that. Just hearing that. I mean, I just got it. I'm exhausted. I'm already exhausted.
It's like Ray.
Ray
from
Star
Wars.
From Star Wars. Right?
She knows how to do everything.
It's just again, if everything is
there's
possible,
no match for her.
Nothing is interesting. If she can do everything, what is the conflict there?
I don't feel the fear, or between commas, right? That I felt when Luke Skywalker went to meet Darth Vader, for example, and the Emperor.
Yeah.
Nothing at all.
Oh yeah.
I know that she's going to win no matter what. She's not going to suffer, not one bit.
Yeah, you know. It just I think this is really good analogy to the current times, the current state of affairs in this respect. This is a great analogy with what happened with Star Trek, because here's the thing. Talking about flaws of the main character, that's a good one.
Okay.
Kirk was cocky. Kirk was
very
the cockiest pilot that ever set foot in Starfleet, right? I mean, look at from his crew's point of view. He's a cocky pilot,
womanizer.
A womanizer. He is too self-confident.
Yes.
Which puts his whole crew in jeopardy a lot of the times, but he gets the job done.
Yes.
So what does this do?
And he grows up. So what does this do? This puts his crew in the constant internal conflict, which is, you've given us reasons to trust you, but this time you're probably going too far. Yeah. And this happens again and again. So he is always having to fight for the trust that people put on him. Well, not then in the last movies with Kirk. But in the beginning, yes.
And I mean, most of the movies, everybody, somewhere there's someone challenging his notion of he knows what he's doing. Probably not.
For example, in the Star Trek the motion picture, the first movie after all the series. I don't know if you recall, but he wasn't the captain of the.
No.
He was an admiral.
Yeah.
And he in some ways force him to be again the captain or admiral or so, the commander of
the Enterprise.
The Enterprise, and that's a bit selfish. So he's not perfect, and he's flawed, like I am, like you are, like a real human.
I mean, come on, wait.
Sorry.
50% of us are flawed. The other 50% are perfect. I used to be cocky, but now I'm perfect.
No, but you know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
Don't give them false flaws. Just to make them look good in some other way, and that's what I feel they did to the character Michael.
You know what happens? This has been happening since the 90s, and I started paying attention to this, which is heroes are only heroes and the villains are only villains. I mean, that being said, what I mean is
that's a cartoon.
Yeah, that's a cartoon, and I remember that this was a trait of B movies. You know those movies that played on Sundays afternoon when you're not doing anything, and then you let me turn on the TV, see what's on. So what happened was you had these really crappy movies where the hero was only good. He has no faults whatsoever, and the villain has no redeeming qualities whatsoever. And that is just so bland. It's just so stupid. Kirk has real flaws. I mean, even Khan had redeeming qualities, and he was one of the greatest villains of Star Trek.
And that's what I like in villains. If I like that they somewhat and sometimes are correct in their worldview or something like that.
Yeah, there's something that you can empathize with.
But that's for example, Thanos.
Yeah,
I really like Thanos.
Yeah.
And I was.
Wait a minute. You really like Anus? It sounded like you said you really like anus.
I really like.
You know, it reminded me of Borat.
Yeah,
the
Borat.
anus. The anus.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah,
so he said, I really like anus. Thanos, yeah. We're talking about Thanos, people.
Thanos.
Stop it, okay?
Well,
Stop it in the comments. I see you, fuckers.
I liked him in. Well, I only liked him in
In Avengers Endgame and Infinity War?
Infinity War, not in Endgame.
Not in Endgame.
No, because there something was off for me. Something was missing. You know, he was a way better character in Infinity War.
If you look at it as one single movie, I think it's really good.
If it's
Both
in
movies,
one
if
single movie,
you
yes.
look at it as
But
one.
then for me, it's the second part of the movie. Thanos loses something. I don't know.
He's vulnerable.
Yeah. But yeah, okay. But you know the character better in the first movie. In the first movie, in Infinity War. What I mean is, I hate to say this, but he was kind of right. You know, for him,
I see what you mean.
you saw what happened to his planet, right?
Yeah,
So
overpopulation.
So he had his reasons.
His motivation.
Way out of line. But yes, I can.
Yeah, to a sociopathic degree, he had the right motivations,
Yes.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
So in a way, it was almost, if you look at it this way, if he really, let's say that the mechanism to bring about what he wanted was actually literally 50% of all life in the universe is going to be extinguished. Okay, 50%. Was it? I think it was. Yeah, 50%. So if this was truly an unbiased thing, I mean, you could argue that he never had the intention of putting himself in harm's way, right? So maybe it was a little biased, but there is no hint that he was biased. Let's say that he actually wanted to eradicate 50%, which included himself. Then that was an altruistic kind of point of view.
Yeah.
It's kind of an altruistic thing that, okay, I want the like Spock said, the good of the many outweighs the good of the few, right?
Yeah. I don't think it's the right thing to do, but I understand the motive.
Yeah. The point of view is that you're looking to achieve a goal that's greater than yourself, even if it put yourself in harm's way. So that's an altruistic choice in the end. So again, a villain that has some qualities that you can empathize with, and come on, we're not. Sometimes I look at filmmaking, at the art of making film, as imagine history of film as a human life. I mean, within the lifespan of human being. Right now, I think we're slowly inching away out of our teenage years.
You think so?
I think so. Slowly.
Okay.
Which means that we still have to go through that phase where we're measuring dick sizes, and I think that's where we are. At the end of maybe not the end. Well, maybe not the end. Maybe I'm being a little too optimistic. Maybe this is what teenage years are.
Okay.
But what I mean is, as things grow a little more mature, and the history of film evolves. I mean, there is really no room anymore to make a villain that's only bad credible.
I'm going to be honest with you. For me,
Please. Please do.
If we see it like that, we had to see things since the beginning of cinema, right? But forgetting all that, for me, the teenage years would be the 80s.
The 80s?
With all that craziness, with all that over the top movies and creativity and stuff like that.
I would call that the early teens.
Okay, the early teens. But nowadays cinema is completely cynical. Mm-hmm. It's really cynical, and at the same time it's stupid and not very much intelligent. So I think now it's that middle-aged guy that doesn't know what he's doing.
Really? Interesting.
That's how I see. If you're putting that way,
I see it as a pampered teenager. For me, no. For me, he or she doesn't have any more ideas.
it's
Interesting.
in a midlife crisis, doesn't know what's
Well,
going to do.
maybe, but this is cyclical because listen, when we were talking about the Terminator, the Ghostbusters, this is things that we grew up with, and now we're in our 30s, 40s.
Yes.
We are the people that have kids. Well, most of the people, not us, but
I don't have one.
I know. I hope I don't. If you're out there, I'm really sorry. I had no idea. Tell your mother to call me. I'm joking, of course, but what I mean is now we are the kind of people that make a living. We have our own money, so we buy all of these new. I mean, what I'm talking about is nostalgia points. We grew up on these properties.
Yes.
We grew up on Terminator, on Back to the Future, Ghostbusters, etc. And now the nostalgia points are kicking in. But this is cyclical.
Yes.
So this happened before. It's going to happen again.
It happened before.
Yeah, I think so.
I remember a surge
was
of
the,
movies about the 70s and series about the 70s, but I don't recall.
Okay, so what about all the movies set in the Second World War?
Yeah, but
wouldn't you say that most of the people that wanted to watch those movies were the children of veterans?
Yeah,
for example.
Baby boomers and
baby
stuff
boomers
like that.
and stuff like that,
and people that went through the
so
war.
But this is how things go. This is how capitalism
it's a different
works.
thing. Yeah,
this is how capitalism works.
Yeah.
I have nothing against that part of the thing, that side of the argument. What I'm trying to say is, this is cyclical. The thing that they're,
and
I think
I can
it's,
understand what you're saying.
and it's also, excuse me, I think it's also cyclical. To reach a point where you feel like you're out of ideas. I think that's also cyclical. I'm waiting for it to end. I'm anxious for it to end, but this is the current manifestation of not having any ideas. Is you go back to your childhood and you get all of those things that were wonderful and you try to bring them back, but the current political landscape makes it so that you want to destroy all of it.
Yeah.
Because you have to pander to these fucking 15 people on Twitter saying that we need more of this, we need more of that. No, you don't, you fucking idiots.
And even if you do need it, build something
new. Yes,
something
build
new.
it from
Okay.
anew. Go through the hassle. I see all of these people just wanting things right here and now. No. Great things are not created out like that. They're built with dedication and effort.
And failure.
Failure is a must have. And maybe this is the failure that's gonna, these constant failures in the box office.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what's gonna bring us out of it.
But one thing, you have really great ideas for movies. That's my opinion.
Well,
I sometimes have some
Oh no, please.
ideas for
No,
movies.
please. Go back to what you were saying. I love that.
We have things ready to I don't know, to be produced. Yeah. That's just the two of us.
Yeah.
Imagine a whole lot of a bunch of people that also have really great ideas, better than our ideas.
Yeah.
Why aren't we seeing that
And with greater
in cinema?
access.
Yes, I see better ideas nowadays in television
Than in movies.
mainly in Netflix, HBO, Amazon,
But
stuff
that's
like that.
ending. That's ending as well. Look at Netflix. Netflix is bleeding subscribers.
No, yeah, because I'm a Netflix subscriber, and I'm getting a bit tired of their movie selection. It's no.
It's not edgy.
It's not edgy, and it's becoming a little boring. Yes, I hope that changes.
Listen, everything changes. Things are not going to be the same. These video-on-demand platforms, they're going to change as well. They're going to go with the flow of the markets. That's how things work.
I really
That's the
like
supply and demand.
Netflix.
That's
I hope
capitalism.
they succeed.
Yeah, I hope they succeed too. But what I hope they do is they understand that the 15 people on Twitter that I keep going on about, they are not the gross of their fans.
But I don't know if Netflix.
They're just the
went that
people who
way.
have nothing better to do.
Yeah.
They're not the people who are actually wanting what you have to offer. And I think Netflix, like you say, and I agree with you, they have a singular position in the market to counter this trend.
Yeah, I think they actually do that. Even if they have the Star Trek Discovery, that's from CBS All Access. So it's
Oh,
I
wait a
think
minute. So CBS produced it and they picked up on it.
I think so. Yes.
But you watch it on Netflix?
Yeah. I watch it on
okay.
Netflix.
I didn't know that.
I used to watch it. I don't watch it.
Well, yeah. Welcome to the light side again. I brought you back from the dark side. No, I'm kidding. I know what you mean. You give it a shot because it's something you love.
And I'm loving, just by the way, I'm loving Westworld in HBO, like I told you.
Yeah,
loving it.
We're discussing off-air Westworld. I haven't watched it yet because I want to watch the movie
and then we'll
again.
talk about it.
And then we'll talk about it, definitely. All right, so what do you guys think about everything that we've discussed? Do you think that there's a lack of creativity? And if so, what is the best way to counteract this trend of rehashing badly old properties that we all love? Should they be creating new things, and why? If you disagree with us, please comment below.
Yeah, let us know.
Say
something.
Say something that we can
send a pigeon, something like that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Send a pigeon with a message.
So alone.
We are. I think people have the idea that we have a lot of friends.
No, it's just human.
It's just us.
Yeah.
We order out. We don't even go out for dinner.
Yeah. And we ask the pizza guy to slip it under the door.
Yeah.
Because no human contact.
No, nothing. We're actually in a bunker right now.
Yeah.
But
well, that's life.
That's life. Anyway, comment below. Tell us what you think. Let us know if there's something about this argument that we're not paying the due attention to, and we want to read that. Also, remember, you can watch Audio Tales. They're free. They're available. We are going to relaunch, but they're still available. They're always going to be available, at least the first two episodes, which, by the way, they've both been in international film festivals. The last one,
they've been awarded, nominated, and stuff.
Yeah, all of those things. And Bruno's work is also available online. Some of it, actually, in fact, not all of it, of course. But look him up on
Instagram, for example.
Instagram, through the Creative Basterds, you get access to everything we do. I have a lot of short stories as well out there and things that I've written. So look us up, find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all the usual places, and all the links will be down below as usual. Let us know what you think of the Audio Tales and what you would like to see in the Audio Tale format. And that's it about and the English is now my officially fourth bad language. That's it for now. We're going to go to the second topic, and here's the bell. All right, aren't you glad you waited for that bell? We selected that bell specifically because we know you're going to like it. So, second topic, hit me up.
Okay. So, favorite vampire movies and actors.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That is not hard at all. I mean, it's hard to choose one.
It's hard to choose one. It's because I'm not going to choose only one.
Of course. Neither. It's impossible.
And I hope you choose differently from me. Otherwise, we won't have a show.
Yeah, I know. And the people, just so you know, I think you gather this by now, but we are one step away of sharing a brain.
Yeah.
So the two of us together kind of make a single man.
Yeah.
A single working, functioning man.
Okay.
Individually, we're just fucked up. I mean, if you want, you don't want to meet us. Really, I think we have good voices, but trust me, what's behind the voice is just
a good voice.
Broken hearts and broken minds, and we're one bad decision away becoming a full-blown sociopath. It would be funny if it weren't true. Anyway, so good topic. I love vampires. Air quotes. Let's talk about the real vampires. Sorry, Twilight. You can go and fuck off.
Who's Twilight?
I know. Someone mentioned it to me. He said, "Oh, you gotta watch Twilight." I said, it's no. I don't know.
I've seen them all.
All right, and this is the end of the show, people.
So
all right. Hope you enjoy that. And I'm sorry for what he just said. His views are not actually the views that this program holds or its production company, which doesn't
Disclaimer,
exist.
Yeah. Okay.
Disclaimer.
So I would start with Nosferatu. Not as a cliche, but because I really like the movie and the style and everything like that. For me, it was something new, really quite old, from 1922.
Yep.
But yes. From Murnau, I don't know if it's spelled like this or not.
Murnau, yes.
Murnau. I don't know.
A German director, which reminds me,
yeah,
our first audio tale was lately picked up by an international film festival in Germany, Weiterstadt. Vielen Dank, Weiterstadt. Yeah. Yes. Just a little, putting it out there.
Again. And I really liked the soundtrack from Hans Erdmann. Mm-hmm. And it's in the Max track was really good in that movie. It's okay. It's a completely different movie from the rest that I'm going to talk about, but it's Have you seen it?
Nosferatu, long time ago.
Okay, yes. I mean, so did I. But and by the way, off topic. Have you seen Metropolis?
Again, long time ago.
Okay, so.
Yeah.
That's one for me. You. Shoot one.
Well, the obvious answer that comes to mind, there are actually two, and quite different from one another.
Hey, I have a lot of them in the list, so
I know,
you
I'm just
are
gonna
going to say one.
Just
Okay.
stop picking on me. He's always picking on me. It's I've talked a lot about this in the previous podcast. Again, if you'd make me say these things again, just go listen to the previous podcast. You're gonna thank us later. Interview with a Vampire.
Yeah.
Of course, and both of them. Either
That's a
Tom
Joel
Cruise.
Schumacher movie, right?
what did you just say?
It's not. Isn't it a?
Do I have to cross this studio and kick you in the fucking head?
Maybe with a baseball bat, but isn't that?
No.
Who's the director?
Wait a minute. I am going to have to take a breather here. Joel Schumacher, for those who don't know, is the one responsible for...
Fuck, no. No.
The greatest, in Bruno's vision, the greatest Batman movie of all time.
No. I was making a hot mess. No.
Who are you thinking about?
No, I was thinking about Joel Schumacher, but in the other, another
vampire
vampire.
movie?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, you have to tell me about that one, but no.
Yeah.
Neil Jordan was
exactly.
the director,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
actually the movie, the greatest activist, well, not activist, but the greatest propeller of this movie was David Geffen from Geffen Pictures.
Ah, really?
So he was the producer, and he was the one that really wanted to make the movie.
The thing
Neil
that
Jordan
was
made it, yeah.
the thing that was making me confused. It was because of the soundtrack.
Oh,
Elliot
Goldenthal, yeah.
which worked with
Joel
in that
Schumacher. Oh, okay.
terrific movie,
Yeah.
Batman and Robin.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, to be fair, we are big fans of the Danny Elfman Batman soundtrack. Big fans. We grew up on it.
Yeah, but the soundtrack of
Elliot Goldenthal is really good.
Really good as well.
Really good. I liked it a lot.
Not the movie.
You know when I learned to like it, because when I didn't
You
have
learned to like it?
I learned to like it, not directly in the movie, because the movie was such shit.
Batman and Robin.
Batman and Robin, yes. Well, Batman Forever. I mean, it's
for me, it's beginning to cross the line.
Yeah, it's like you're
Way too
stepping
cartoonish,
in.
yeah.
Yeah, way too cartoonish.
But I still liked it.
Like, okay, I could not the nipples,
We
dude, not the nipples.
we didn't have anything else on back in the day, you know.
Yeah.
So anything Batman was okay until Batman and Robin.
Until Batman and Robin. I mean,
That's way too much.
yeah, Michael Gough was again back as Alfred Pennyworth, which we really loved. I think he's still one of the best Alfreds out there. Also, you know, not. I also loved My Cocaine, but yeah, Alfred Pennyworth. But then Batman and Robin was it was a shit fest. But then again, you lent me the PlayStation video game.
The game was
The game was pretty cool.
Okay. Yeah,
it was one of the best Batman games, and that's how I learned to love the soundtrack.
And Batman, wow, the relationship between Batman and video games wasn't always as it is now. You know, it was. It used to be really shitty. I do remember some Batman video games that were almost unplayable. Oh.
So yeah. So anyway, yeah, I was going to
Interview with a Vampire.
Interview with a Vampire. Either Brad Pitt or Tom Cruise. I think they both did a fantastic job as vampires. And I just wanted to tell you that one thing. If you like Nosferatu, did you watch Shadow of the Vampire? 2000s. Well, actually, the year 2000.
No, I don't think so.
Okay, so Shadow of the Vampire is kind of I wouldn't even call it a mockumentary. It's basically a movie that is about the making of Nosferatu.
No. I see.
Willem Dafoe played
Willem
Max
Dafoe.
Schreck.
Yeah. I've never
Willem
seen
Dafoe
that movie.
is fucking amazing in that role. He looks like the actual actor that played Max Schreck.
I've seen photos, but I didn't see
Oh, you gotta watch the movie. You gotta watch the movie. One of my favorite lines of that movie, and I haven't watched it since it came out. So I maybe watched it like in 2001. It came out in 2000. I never forgot this. So the director of the movie, played by John Malkovich.
Okay.
He is playing F.W. Murnau, and he goes into a cave where Max Schreck, Willem Dafoe, is there, and he gives him blood to drink. Okay, so I'm not going to spoil it for you. Just watch the movie.
Okay.
But Willem Dafoe as Max Schreck says something along the lines of, "I used to drink from cups of gold, and now I drink the way." Something like
Beasts? Something like that.
yeah, he drinks like a beast or like an animal or something. I can't remember the exact line, but it's a fantastic line, and Willem Dafoe is fucking amazing. I like Willem Dafoe, period, but in that role, he brings it to life again. But going back to it, Interview with a Vampire.
Well, yeah.
And by the way, Interview with a Vampire, a third great vampire performance, Kirsten Dunst.
Exactly.
I could not believe it. I watched the movie so many times, and I still can't believe that such a young girl could deliver such a performance.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to you, Kirsten? I mean, go back to your prime. I mean, that was amazing.
Okay.
And your other selection?
Lost Boys. And that's the one from Joel Schumacher.
Okay.
With Kiefer Sutherland.
Yeah.
It's a completely different movie, but yes, it has that 80s feel, and it's for me it's really enjoyable. You know?
Here's the thing: I've never watched that one, but I always wanted to, and I haven't watched it for the stupid reason that I keep forgetting. I'm sometimes sitting at home and wondering, what's a good vampire movie that I haven't watched, or a werewolf movie? I love werewolf movies, and that one just doesn't come to mind.
Okay.
It just I don't even know why. And I thought it was, probably isn't, but I thought Lost Boys was based on a Stephen King novel.
That I do not recall, but I really like the movie. And
No,
it's not.
It isn't based on Stephen King.
No?
No.
You have the really good actors there, but right now I don't remember the. Who.
Corey Haim.
Ah, really?
Yep. You had Jason Patric.
Jason Patric, yes.
Who came into the fore with such movies as Speed 2. You had Kiefer Sutherland, Corey Feldman, and
Corey Feldman.
Corey Feldman was in the movie.
Oh,
yeah.
Corey Haim.
No, Corey Feldman and Corey Haim.
Ah.
Both of them.
Oh.
Yeah, they were actually really good friends at the time. So yeah, great movie, and I haven't watched it. Now I'm gonna bring this one up because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, we're both big fans of this one. Blade, the first one.
Yeah, the first one, yes. Absolutely.
Really good movie.
Not a typical vampire movie.
With all its
action
faults.
flick.
All its faults.
But
it's a fantastic.
The first one, the other ones, no. But the first one, yes.
Yeah,
completely.
And I think the soundtrack was really good. It was really appropriate. I think Wesley Snipes was probably the best choice for the role.
Yeah, he
at
was.
the time.
For me, yeah.
Yeah. And the only thing I really didn't like was the way the villain died.
How did he...
Okay, so...
Spoilers.
It's a 20-fucking-year-old movie.
The entire show is a spoiler.
Come on, it's spoiled and spoiler. So anyway, we shit on our own things, which is good. I think it's only natural.
Yeah.
I think it's healthy.
We're not perfect.
We're not perfect.
Far from it. Yeah.
Which makes us the best heroes and villains.
Yeah.
We're not perfect. Yeah, man. Good. A bump. Fist bump, that's what it was. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. So the villain in Blade, they find this... Blade helps out this doctor who's into genetics and everything. And she finds a way to kill the vampire cells. So basically, vampirism is a virus. Yes. And they find a way to, with an injection... kill the vampire cells. Now the reaction is really violent, and when they put it under the microscope, it actually blows out. So what does Blade do? He fills the villain full of this antidote or toxin.
Stephen Dorff, right?
Stephen Dorff, yeah.
Stephen Dorff.
And he just it looks really bad. It looks really fucking bad. It just keeps growing and growing. Do you remember Big Trouble in Little China?
Yeah.
That's the kind. Remember that guy that blows up?
Of blowing?
It's like that, but bad.
You should watch again.
Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah, we should. Do that, but no, that's not what I mean. You should watch Faust.
Faust? Oh,
because
we are going to watch Faust.
There's a scene like that, and it can be way worse than those two movies.
You know, you reminded me the last podcast again. If I have to bring up the last podcast, just come on. Anyway, you talked a lot about Faust, and you reminded me of this movie from the 90s, I think. I'm looking it up. Yeah, 89. Is it 89? maybe it's 89. I think it is. A really, really bad movie. Yeah, it's this one. I found it. Yeah, the Google machine. It's working. It's called Warlock.
Warlock. Yeah. I've never seen it, but I know the movie.
It's really bad.
Isn't it with a guy with long white hair? Or
he's
something
kind of a demon. I don't remember everything about it. He's kind of a demon.
Is it bad, the movie?
Oh, I remember it was really bad at the time. But maybe it was because I watched it at an earlier, a later age. So I didn't watch it in 89. I probably watched it like in 98 or something like that. And I remember thinking, man, this is really bad. But it had a good scene, a really good special effect when the demon or whatever it is puts his hand on a woman's belly and it just starts growing like it's being impregnated. Then the baby is developing then and there, and it's really cool. I remember that effect. So it's maybe I have to rewatch it. Maybe I have to, if I have the brain cells after Faust. Maybe I will.
You won't, but yeah.
I don't know. So you brought up Faust. That leads
No, just because of that scene. Let's move on. Yeah, because that's a trauma.
Who's the? Oh, I was the last one. I said Blade.
Yeah. So it's me.
Okay.
One thing, another movie that I like. It's not perfect, but it's because of Bela Lugosi. It's the Dracula from 1931.
Of course, the original.
The original. The original, yes.
Man, it's not perfect. I mean, at the time, it was perfect. I mean, there are certain things when you watch it now. Wait a minute, before I go into this, what do you like about it? What did you like about it?
I'm a huge fan of Bela Lugosi, so I liked all the smirks and all of that thing that Bela Lugosi always did, So yes, and it was a dark movie.
Yeah. Wasn't this movie that kicked off the
werewolves and all the
monster?
I don't know, but maybe.
I think it was.
But it was before all the campiness that came after that,
Yeah.
Before it started being dark again. Yeah. So that's another one.
Yeah, definitely. I mean. One of us was going to bring up Bela Lugosi. I mean, if we're talking about vampire flicks, who won't bring up Bela Lugosi? Yeah. It was such a great movie, and Bela Lugosi was brought to life in a movie that not a lot of people know that Tim Burton directed, Ed Wood.
Yeah.
Okay,
exactly.
From 1994. Yeah. Great soundtrack by Howard Shore, by the way.
Exactly.
I think it was the first big movie at least, that he didn't work with Danny Elfman. I think they had a little spat. They weren't working together at the time, but come on, Howard Shore he brought the bacon.
Yeah.
Really good soundtrack. And another collaboration with Johnny Depp and
Johnny
also
Depp
Bill
really
Murray,
great.
if you remember.
Bill Murray?
Yeah.
What was the?
He was one of the producers.
Okay.
In the movie, if you haven't watched that movie, I mean, it's to me, it's.
I think I own
think
the
you
DVD.
have the DVD. Yeah. Full of extras, great extras. By the way, the DVD.
I know.
And to me, it's Tim Burton at his best.
Yeah.
And Johnny Depp as well. I think they're all just a great cast. And in the cast was Martin Landau, who played Bela Lugosi. And he said something when he's sitting with Johnny Depp watching. Rewatching Dracula, so it's Martin Landau as Bela Lugosi watching Dracula with Bela Lugosi, and they're both sitting in the sofa. And when that part comes, when Bela Lugosi extends his hands and does that weird thing with the fingers, and Martin Landau really worked at it. He really did it. And Johnny Depp as Edward D. Wood Jr. asks, "How do you do that?" To which Martin Landau replies something along the lines of, "Well, you got lots of practice. You have to do lots of practice and be Hungarian."
I didn't remember that.
Yeah, that's a great movie. So great. Yeah. Bela Lugosi. Okay, so I'm now in a little bit of a stump, but we can go to Christopher Lee.
Yeah.
Christopher Lee as Dracula, so another remake of Bram Stoker's Dracula, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
We don't need to do this chronologically, You can go, you can skip right to that one that we both love.
I'm not doing it chronologically, but thank you for setting the rules in the middle of the game.
I'm
thank
here,
you.
so yeah.
So which one is it that we both love?
That one from Francis Ford Coppola.
Oh, of course.
That's for me. That's one of the best.
Yeah, definitely.
The soundtrack.
So if you're not familiar with what we're talking about, I don't even know what the hell you're doing here. But this is Bram Stoker's Dracula by Francis Ford Coppola.
It's incredible. For me, it's a love story.
Yeah.
It's a love story, but
it's a really different take, though.
yeah, it's a really different track. But it's incredible.
Yeah.
Visually and yeah.
Yeah.
Except for the for the accent.
That's where the bastard sleeps.
Yeah, I love Keanu Reeves, but
We
that
both love
accent,
Keanu Reeves.
that accent. Oh,
Yeah, it's not his best. It's not his,
yeah.
his greatest moment. But I guess, it also, from another point of view, I think it also speaks to what the kind of things that he wanted to do as an actor. Not that he could, but that he wanted.
Yeah.
This is a guy fresh off Bill and Ted's Great Adventure.
Yeah, exactly.
And he wanted to do that.
We shouldn't forget that. Yes.
Yeah, so it was a great leap.
Yes,
and,
a great leap.
It was risky. It wasn't. Listen, I don't think it was all bad. His
No,
performance was not
for
all
me
bad.
it was the accent.
It was just the accent.
It was a little bit
That's
stiff.
where the bastard
but-
sleeps. It's like a surfer trying to
Yeah,
do a British
yeah.
accent, but it's yeah. Go
but
ahead.
it's
Go
cool.
ahead.
It didn't ruin the movie at all.
No, he didn't. And so I'm looking at I'm trying to look for the movie that Christopher Lee did when he was Dracula.
I think he did some, not just one, but several. No.
Yeah, well, from 1976, I see Dracula and Son, but that's not the one I'm looking for. But anyway, going back to Bram Stoker's Dracula, yeah, I think it's probably the best rendition of the. It's probably the most faithful, even if he took some artistic liberties with the material. I think it's one of the most faithful film adaptations of Bram Stoker's Dracula. And I really liked Anthony Hopkins' Van Helsing. I think he was really good. He was like this. He was this borderline drunk, or psychotic.
It was almost cartoonish for me, but it was really, really.
Yeah,
good.
it paid off. I think it paid off. Well, one thing that rewatching. One thing that I didn't really buy into was Winona Ryder. Watching it again.
Yeah.
I loved it at the time. I thought it was brilliant.
Yeah.
But I loved her friend's performance better.
Yes.
What was the name?
I don't remember. The Lucy.
Lucy. Right.
Yeah.
The character Lucy. Oh man, she was supposed to be. I mean, if you want to talk about her transformation, this was a character that was supposed to be like a brainless court. Not court, but high society daughter of a big bourgeois, and then the way that she was able to go from that, a brainless teen, I think you could call her that,
to that
into one of the most freakish monsters.
Yes.
That scene in the tomb with the baby.
Yeah.
I mean, that haunted me. It actually haunted me for a while.
Visually is incredible.
Visually, because she's all, and it's so brilliant the way Coppola did it. Yeah. He dressed her all in white, which is how someone like that at the time, being of high society, would have been buried in the best fashion, white fashion.
Okay.
And white, this is the brilliance of it. White, at the time, meaning immaculate.
Okay.
Right, so the white in mythological. From the mythological point of view, white means being immaculate, means being a virgin, even in the terms of being clean, spiritually clean.
Yeah.
And then you have that beautiful girl being buried in those beautiful white gowns. And then you go to the scene in the tomb when the monster in those white gowns is just fucking nightmarish.
She's bleeding all over, right?
She was...
bleeding. No.
She has blood in her mouth, and she's carrying a baby.
It's.
Wow. And I think I'm not entirely sure. No, it couldn't have been. I was gonna say that baby was Sofia Coppola, but it wasn't, because Sofia Coppola was already grown up by then. She did Godfather 3, so it couldn't have been her. But I think there was a relationship with the baby. I think the baby was part of his family. I'm not entirely sure. If you know, put it back in the documents.
Incredible,
in the document. Yes, the documents. Put it in the documents below. We have a lot of documents in the comments below.
The other one I'm going to talk about is this one.
Okay. He's handing me a DVD.
DVD. It's Dracula with Frank.
Oh, this is the one I was trying to remember. Frank
really?
Langella. Yes. I was thinking Christopher Lee, which I loved. I Anybody loves Christopher Lee. But I was thinking about this one.
For me, it's one of the best.
Yeah.
It's with John Williams soundtrack, and
I have to listen.
I don't know how it's called, that thing that he has with his eyes.
Yes, he has
the eyes don't
not
actually
always,
stop.
Yeah, they're always moving from side to side.
And I think that's in the movie. That's perfect. He always has that eerie and uncanny thing around him because of that. And because of his performance. It's really, really good. I wasn't expecting to be such a good movie. For me, it is. And I would watch it again. Did you see?
I watched it again a long time ago. I mean, you only have so much time, and we love movies, so we are always pretty much like anybody who's listening right now. If you're here, it's because you love movies and you're always watching movies. But don't you get the feeling that there's just too much to watch and too little time?
Yeah.
Talk about the classics. I want to revisit the classics so many times. I have a list of 300 movies that I want to do chronologically.
Whoa, fuck.
Because I read the Story of Film by Mark Cousins. By the way, great book. If you don't know who I'm talking about, I think they did a series. They wanted to do a documentary movie based on the book, but I think they went with a series. I have to check that out.
Check the book as well. Yes.
Check out the book.
Yes,
I mean, it's
incredible.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
And what I did was I studied the book, and I took note of every movie that he mentioned, regardless if I watched it or not. I want to do it chronologically because that's how he did.
It's still a big book.
It's still a big book. It's like 300. I think probably closer to 400 movies. I mean, if we're talking about at least 400 hours of footage that you have to go through, I would love to do that, but there's only so much time. Right?
Yeah, you have to be selective. Yes.
So, but that one,
this one is really cool.
Maybe we can do a double bill with Faust.
Which one would go first?
Dracula, of course.
Dracula, yeah, and then Faust.
To
end up nicely.
I don't know. Can we do that?
Oh, fuck! That was
the last time we tried a double bill. It was with, was it The Room? No, it wasn't The Room.
No, The Room we saw on a different day. No, it was
Highlander the Source.
And then we tried to see it
Trolls?
Trolls.
Was it Trolls?
Yeah.
Oh,
oh no, and now they're going to eat me.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
We didn't finish the movie.
We couldn't. I remember you just standing up and saying, "Listen, I have to go. I have to go."
Yeah, that was too much.
It was too much, man. It was because it's one thing if you watch a bad movie that's kind of enjoyable, like The Room. You can laugh at it, and you're constantly thinking, "Why the fuck would anybody shoot this?"
But we saw the other one.
But we started with Highlander the Source.
We saw the whole movie.
We saw the whole movie, and it kind of just sucked the life out of it.
I'm still wondering why I did that. Why I just
because you put trust in me. You put faith in me.
Yeah, that's my life problem. That's my biggest mistake.
But listen. To be honest, I know how this is going to sound, but if it were the other, let me put it this way: if it were the other way around, wouldn't you have shown it to me?
Yes, obviously.
It was so bad.
I'm going to show you Faust, so yes.
Yeah, I mean, come on, Highlander the Source is so bad. Do you know how much it's? I told you the other day. Let me just confirm to see if it's still
Rotten Tomatoes. No.
No. Let me see. Oh my God, it's not even in the suggested.
How the fuck do you have internet in my own home and I don't?
Well, because the internet likes me. What the fuck can I say? I'm likable. Yeah. By the way, I buy better perfume. I just so you know, I can't even eat dinner near you. So Highlander the Source, it's still at the same. The reviews are still at the same level as they were a few days ago. 3.1 on IMDb.
Yeah, 3.1.
And I actually went into the trouble of reading some of the reviews, and some of them, not just one, said, "Too bad there aren't negative reviews." But because I would have given this a minus something. It's so bad.
Which, you know what we should do? After Faust,
rewatch this.
No, not again. But we should look for movies with 1 point something and 2 point something and select a few of them and watch it.
Listen, by the way, people, if you didn't watch in the last podcast, which I keep mentioning, if you haven't, just stop this fucking video, pause this video, listen to the other ones and come back. Goosefraba.
Dude, you're setting from...
No, I'm kidding. Anyway, so we mentioned in the last podcast that we're going to do a live stream with Faust, right? We're going to do a live stream.
Try to do that, yes.
Try to do a live stream. Maybe we can do that. Maybe we could just go to the lowest reviewed Rotten Tomatoes. And
we have to select one of...
one or two.
Yeah.
And if you have any hints for us, please
really bad movies.
Yeah, just really bad. The kind that suck the life out of you, just put it in the comments below. Yeah. We'd love to watch it. And we'd love to watch it with you. We're going to announce the live stream. We're just going to do it. Let's do this.
Let's do this.
I don't know when we're going to make it happen.
Yes.
Because we have a lot on our plate right now, but we're going to make it happen. And we'd love it if you were there with us. In the super chats, we still have to figure out how that whole thing works. Maybe we can do a Twitch. I don't know if there's a Twitch live stream for movies.
What's a Twitch? I know what's a Twitch.
This is a Twitch. Look.
That's Twitch.
Yeah. See? It can be flirty as well. Yeah. Now it's up to you, listeners, to imagine what I just did. A hint? I had to zip up. Okay.
For fuck's sake.
No, anyway, just leave in the comments below some of the movies. And I just remember one. One that I don't know. I don't know who showed it to who. We were chatting online on, and this is for the old guys in the audience, MSN Messenger.
Yeah.
It was a really long time ago.
It was
when MSN was a thing.
Yeah.
And the little butterfly. We were chatting and we were talking about bad movies, and we were just scouring. I think it was at least post 2005 because we were on YouTube by then, and YouTube came into being in 2005, so I think maybe 2006. Okay. And we were scouring YouTube for the worst kind of shit that we could find in terms of movies. And
it was already there.
It was already there. YouTube was a Wild West then. It was really good. And we came upon Japanese Spider-Man.
Japanese Spider-Man. And Indian Superman.
And the Indian both Superman,
of them,
both of them, yeah. The Indian Superman, we didn't watch the whole thing. But the first episode of Japanese Spider-Man, we watched it, and I remember just going to bed lifeless. I remember curling up under my covers and just going, "What the fuck did I just watch?"
But it's so bad. It's good, That's,
I know.
For me, that's one of the things.
Yeah, but I didn't feel that.
But it's horrible.
I didn't feel it
at the time, no.
It took me like a week to process.
Yeah.
Man.
Doesn't he have and like every...
Jetman.
Jetman.
And, what was the...
doesn't he...
Power Rangers.
In the end, doesn't he...
A huge robot.
Yeah, a huge robot. Yeah. It's same old shit.
It's Power Rangers. Do you remember Jetman?
Yes, I do.
Jetoman in the 90s, in the early 90s.
Yeah.
It was always the same thing. You have a slimy dude to fight, and then you end up fighting with a big robot. Yeah. That was the Super Spider or something like that. It's really, really fucking bad. It has nothing to do with the mythology. No, but I dare you to look
like Superman, like the Indian Superman. It doesn't have. It was Indian Superman or Turkish Superman?
I think it was it was Indian because there was a Bollywood moment.
Okay.
Up in the sky where you can see the shadow of their feet on the chroma key.
I know.
Oh man, it's just brilliant.
No, it's the Turkish is the Turkish Star Wars.
Oh boy, you didn't see. I watched something.
I know
it's ringing bells.
Yeah, the Turkish Star Wars.
It's bad bells, like a storm is coming.
Yeah. I wonder if there is something, I don't know, Portuguese Twin Peaks or something like that.
Portuguese Twin Peaks?
I don't know. Something. If we sometimes we're so bad at doing things. Maybe there's something here.
Maybe there's something. Maybe a Portuguese
Captain Portugal something. I don't know.
Captain Planet?
Yeah. Whoa.
A Portuguese Captain Planet.
Oh
man, that would be something to watch.
With a huge mustache.
And
a hairy chest.
Shirt open all the way to the belly button with a cross.
Well, that actually was like Portuguese were in the 60s and the 70s. So,
not today.
Not today. No.
Good-looking girls, come over.
Yeah, he just did a Brazilian, so a Brazilian wax.
Jesus, come on. Be specific. Yes, was that in the... Man, you didn't have to tell people that. It was before. I told you that off air.
You told me off air and...
that's how we're doing it?
Dude, we need customers, right? So, all for the show, right?
Okay, I'll take one for the team. Okay, people. Yeah, anyway. On to the bonus thing. All right, here it comes. Listen to it. And there was the bell. Before we do that, just reminding you, for those who are just joining us, remember to check out our Audio Tales. It's a web series where we basically delve into storytelling and great sound design and great music. And it's a format we're still experimenting, but the demand has been so not the demand. I mean, the reception has been so great. We've been to a lot of film festivals with it. And recently, we just Weiterstadt, and we went to the Weiterstadt Film Festival.
Again?
I'm losing track of time right now. My chronology is all fucked up. But anyway, yeah. Just check it out. Let us know what you think of the product. Well, yes. I hate to call it a product, but it is. Let us know what you think of the Audio Tales. Let us know what you would like us to do in the Audio Tales format. Yeah. And by the way, check out the 80s style trailer that we did a year ago.
80s Bash.
It's called 80s Bash. If you're a fan of all this nostalgia thing that's going on, you're probably going to like that.
It was done in
2 years ago.
No, but it was done in 1 day.
In 1 day. We shot everything in 1 day. I edited, I think, the next day while you were composing the music.
Yeah.
And you know what was the weirdest thing was this putting it bad. Because it was really good. It was really well shot, and the music was great. And then we each told each other, we need to put some grain on the footage and the scratches, like the VHS scratches. And I told you, but you need to do the same with the soundtrack. And it hurt. Didn't it hurt?
Yeah, it hurt.
But that's why
it felt good.
It felt good. Yes. It was so good. I remember when you sent the soundtrack over for me to put it in the movie. I just cracked up laughing.
Yeah, because
by myself in the studio.
The music is really silly. It's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, in the 80s, that's how we rolled, man. Yeah. But don't worry, if you stick to the end credits, you'll hear the music in its full grace. So let us know what you think about that. So let's go to the bonus topic.
Yeah.
Where's
it's there, near your vodka.
Is it my turn to put my hand in the topic jar?
Yeah, you put it.
Yes, just to remind you, last time it was Bruno, and it's your turn to pick the bonus topic.
Thank you, Michael Caine.
What did you know he was here?
No,
I didn't
just
even hear
know
him
this
come
now.
in. Thank you, Englishman from out of nowhere. Fuck, man, that dude gives me the credo, so I can hear everything you say. Okay, yeah. Sorry about that, I guess. Anyway, let's go to the bonus topic. And the bonus topic is one that we already discussed in episode 2.
Cool.
So go again, listen to the fucking podcast. And let me know if you found Jeffrey, because I hear he was... Jeffrey Combs was a... Jeffrey, I got a call from the hospital. They're still looking for you, And by the way... The fertility clinic called. They said they don't need any more. Poor Jeffrey.
Man.
Blue balls and blind by now. So this is your handwriting, so I'm just going to let you...
Let me see. Shit, no again. Blair Witch.
Yeah.
Yeah, Blair Witch. Let's talk about this. No, we already talked about Blair Witch.
In the previous one. So yeah. So that one, okay.
We're not very efficient. Sorry about that.
We're not very well. I don't know about efficient, but we're talking about creativity, I think. Okay. Oh, this is a good one. This is one. I forgot about this one. This is good. So the topic is, and I know you're going to get this. We'll explain later. Explain everything versus explaining as little as possible in movies.
Okay, yeah.
So, a little context for the audience. Yeah. Every time we come out of a movie, one of the reasons that makes us like the movie or not is when the audience has to work a little. That means use their imagination instead of having every little fucking detail about every little thing in the movie explained. So... explaining everything versus explaining as little as possible. And if you're listening to us live, which would be an oddity, given that we are not live, but feel free to comment below and we'll do our best to read it, which means that we have to build a time machine first. But anyway, leave in the comments below what you think about movies that explain everything and those that do not.
And why they should or shouldn't.
Yeah, why they should or shouldn't. Over to you.
Okay, first of all, I think maybe sometimes it's a sign of the times, As I said previously, I think we nowadays live, even if there is Avengers and stuff like that, fantasy, World of Warcraft.
World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
Warcraft. Yeah, I know
WoW,
World of
even if
Warcraft.
there's WoW.
Whoa.
I think
World of
I do
Warcraft.
think we live in cynical times, movie-wise. Everything has to be explained.
You're so optimistic.
Yeah.
I love being with you. When I have a bad day, I always call you and you make me brighter.
And you make me not so brighter anymore.
Yeah.
But what I was saying is things are becoming more realistic. For example,
Yeah, I know.
right now we have that movie with all those animals. Fuck. That's Lion King.
Lion King?
Yeah, Lion King.
That movie with all those animals.
Yeah. Lion
Okay.
King. Now
Film critics of the future. This is basically what it was. Just that fucking movie with a lot of fucking animals. That's, and no, not Dr. Dolittle. But go ahead with your Lion King description.
it went from an amazing
Definitely.
cartoon. No, it's not.
It's a cartoon.
Yeah,
it's a
well,
cartoon movie. It's an
animation,
movie.
an
Yeah.
animated movie. To this, and
I haven't watched it, by the way. Have you watched it?
No, I've seen parts.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, visually, it's stunning.
Mm-hmm.
The thing, what's for me horrible, it's the wow. It's the lack of expression.
Lack of expression? Facial expression.
Facial expression. Facial in the animals. No.
Wait a minute. Maybe you want to, you did a really good job explaining the movie. It's just a fucking movie with a lot of animals. How is the facial feature in Lion King?
Maybe I saw something different. Man. I don't know.
Like ZooTube or something like that. Don't go to ZooTube. I don't even know if it exists, but don't go there. So, way to talk about a family friendly and kids show. This reminds me of our talk about RoboCop. Remember when we said that the parents looked at the poster and thought, hey, let's bring our kids to this cool, robot police officer.
Superhero
And
almost.
Imagine if the Lion King in the facial. Anyway. Mommy, I want to go home. I know, but we bought the ticket already, so shut up.
What's that in your eye, Simba?
Hakuna Matata. No worries, man.
Fuck.
Anyway.
Way too much fun there.
Oh, man, that was funny.
The thing is, the facial expression.
Oh, that's what it's like.
It's
I thought
lacking.
You meant something else.
It's lacking, I've read something about that, some things about the movie, and people are complaining that really important stuff that appeared in the animated version,
The first one, yeah.
it doesn't appear here. For example, the thing with the monkey.
Spoilers.
Yeah, the thing with the monkey where the monkey beats with the stick. No, into Simba's head.
Oh,
so him. So
not into, but on.
On, yes.
It's now a violent porno. It's a slasher porno. By the way, I would watch a slasher porno.
Really?
Yeah, for the fun of it. Like,
okay.
Imagine Attack of the Rotten Tomatoes, but porn.
Yeah.
But this just went downhill pretty fast.
It usually does.
Well,
that's one of the criticism. And back to the topic. I think it's one of the sign of the times. And it's the same thing with midi-chlorians.
It's not go there.
It's not right now. It's 20 years ago, something like that.
When the Phantom Menace came out.
Yeah,
I think it was 2001, if I'm not mistaken. Don't
wasn't it still in the
1999?
1999. Yeah, the midi-chlorians is something we don't need to know, and in fact, we should know. Should not know about that.
Yeah, because it went from now you just opened a can of worms with that.
I know,
but here we go. Yeah, this is why we do this, people.
Yeah. Really, this is the worst part, not the facial thing.
No, actually, I think the midichlorians are more insulting than facials in Lion King. Yes, because you know why? When it's a facial in Lion King, it's just in the movie. This is the director doing a facial on you with the fucking midichlorians. So
you're right.
So anyway, midichlorians. I totally agree with you. It went from being this mystical thing where anybody could be a Jedi if you just worked really hard and trained and became this spiritual warrior.
Not anybody, but
not anybody,
some people were special. But
when I say anybody, I'm not saying that.
Just like a samurai.
Person can. No, that's not what I mean. I mean that it's possible. You don't know what makes a Jedi, so it's possible that you're one.
Yeah,
and you don't know it, and everybody felt that kinship. I understand what he's talking about. I understand his relationship with nature and the force of life. But now it's all about midichlorians,
and it's
all about genetics.
Now it's measurable, and
that's a problem. Measurable, definitely. That's a good example. And by the way, let us know what you thought of the Phantom Menace. I've heard a lot of Star Wars fans that loved it.
Yeah,
and a lot of Star Wars fans, which I say, I still stand that they are the majority that just hated it, and not just because of Jar Jar Binks, but the midichlorians is a big part of it.
The first time I saw Star Wars Phantom Menace, I enjoyed it because it was the first time we were going to see a Star Wars movie after a long time. Yeah, and the soundtrack from John Williams, it was again really good. But I felt a lot of bad things during the movie, and because it felt to me like, and this is strange, I felt like I was seeing a Disney movie.
Oh yeah.
And now Star Wars belongs to Disney.
So it was almost prophetic.
Yeah, with all the Anakin thing and the
boy.
The boy. No, it's
that kid was good in what was the movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
With Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yeah. Jesus, I can't. It'll come to me. It'll come to me.
And all the battle droids and all the economic
Jingle All the Way.
Jingle. It was him.
It was him. Yeah.
Okay. But all that stuff, it was really really bad for me. I didn't like the movie. For me, Jar Jar Binks wasn't the worst thing in the movie. It was one of the
worst things in the movie.
Yeah, but it wasn't the worst.
No, well, I think it's on par with the worst.
No, it's there, but it's not it's not the worst.
No.
Worst.
I mean, if it were just
those battle droids, it's terrible.
Jesus.
That last
CGI galore. We talked about this before,
but it didn't age at all well.
No, not at
well all. At all. Yeah. It's, okay, so that's a movie I don't like, but I rather see that.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Last Jedi.
Oh, definitely.
I'm sorry, but yes.
Yeah. No,
yes.
Definitely. The Last Jedi is probably the lowest point of the Star Wars mythos.
It has good things, but
does it? Tell me one good thing about that movie. Tell me. I'm sure there is. I'm just not seeing it. Tell me one good thing about that movie. Intermission, people.
Yes.
If you know one good thing about that movie, leave it in the comments below, because we're having a hard time here.
No, there are good things, but
what is it? What's the good thing? Even the good things that the Force Awakens.
No, some things involving some moments involving Rey and
Luke.
No, not at all. And
Kylo Ren.
And Kylo Ren. Some moments, for example.
Really? Okay.
Yes. One thing, but the whole movie, it just. And I'm not a fanboy of Star Wars. I'm a fan of Star Wars, but I'm not a fanboy. I can't live without Star Wars.
The whole thing? I mean, everybody can live without Star Wars.
No, but look, I don't dress up like that.
Oh yeah, we're not like,
you're not
we're
like
not like big cosplayers.
Yeah, but the thing, it's like that. It's a lot has been said about The Last Jedi, and we're not going to say a lot more. But yeah, I'd rather see. Again,
I'd rather see Phantom Menace
at
30 times.
At least parts of Phantom Menace.
No, I'd love to see Phantom Menace. If you're putting it in that scale, Phantom Menace is a fucking king.
Yeah.
Definitely, The Last Jedi was to to be honest, I when I walked out of Rogue One, I felt like that was the first Star Wars movie since the Return of the Jedi.
Yeah. Okay.
It was really good, and you know why? I think it was Michael Giacchino who did the soundtrack for Rogue One, and he's oftentimes characterized as the next John Williams. So I wouldn't go as far, but I know what people mean.
Yeah.
And I think he did a wonderful job.
Yeah, but the story was okay.
The story was really good. No, what I mean is I mentioned the soundtrack. Yeah, because like the soundtrack, the whole movie captured the essence of Star Wars.
But
it did not revisit. It did not just play on revisiting old lore.
It did sometimes. But
No. I mean, what I'm trying to say is, Rey is somehow connected to Skywalker, and Kylo Ren is connected to Skywalker. And then you have Han Solo and Leia.
Okay.
So these
Rogue
movies
One
are
is
just
a new thing.
It's a new thing.
New thing.
It felt fresh.
Yeah.
It told a story that was like between the lines of the old Star Wars sagas.
Yes.
It told it really well. It had a female lead, which, to be honest, I didn't have a problem with because she was well portrayed.
Yeah.
From the page and on screen.
Yeah.
The only thing that I really didn't like was Forrest Whitaker's performance. I thought it was over the top.
Yeah.
I thought it was just over the top. I mean, and by the way, I'm a huge fan of Forrest Whitaker.
I know you are.
In that particular moment, it was a little too...
in that particular scene. When she arrives there, and I
think all
appear.
of his performance. I think all of his performance in Star Wars.
Okay.
I think you would have. I think he's the right actor for that universe.
Yes.
I just maybe the direction of the character could have gone just slightly different, and he would have been okay. But apart from that, I mean, it's a fantastic movie.
Yeah, it is.
And even it has flaws. Yes, it does.
Yes.
But compare it to The Last Jedi or The Force Awakens, even. The Force Awakens was, it was kind of the starting point for something. I refrained from criticizing The Force Awakens until I saw the other two.
Yeah.
I don't care anymore. After The Last Jedi, that's what it did for me. I don't fucking care. But going back to the point... No, go ahead.
No. It's it.
Going back to the point, explaining everything. Right? This was the point. Explain everything, or explain as little as possible. Do you can we criticize The Last Jedi for explaining everything? In a way, I think we can.
Yes.
For me,
it even explains in the worst kind. It explains, but explanation sucks. Which for me is way worse than no explanation at all.
I have an example of that.
For example,
the way Obi-Wan dies and the way Luke dies.
Yes.
Completely different.
Yeah.
It's the same basic thing, but it's completely different the way it's done. Yeah. Because when you saw Obi-Wan die in that fight with Darth Vader, you're like you're not sure what happened.
Yeah.
But you can see it happening in your own mind as part of the imaginary world. Yeah. So you can imagine that it's credible in that world.
Yes.
What they did here is they explained too much.
Yeah.
Do you see Luke in that lotus position somewhere across the galaxy, projecting himself onto... I mean, it's just... Come on, it's just...
After we saw all of that huge crappy scene in the casino and... What a way to lose and waste money and time and...
It was completely fucking pointless.
Pointless.
They could have just met. They could have just met Benicio del Toro's character in a cargo ship somewhere.
Yeah, for example.
And they didn't have to go on this side mission.
And the side mission. Come on.
Jesus. And let's not even
go
into Rose.
Rose.
Her rescuing.
There's lots of channels that say what we think.
Yeah, so, there's a lot. To be honest, if you just go on YouTube and look for, the
majority of opinions,
reviews, they've said pretty much everything. We're late in this, we're coming in late, so we're not going to go into all of that. Yeah. It's obvious if you have a minimum sense of what is good storytelling and you watch that movie, you know that it's just shitting all over the saga that's been created up until that point.
But about the explanation, okay.
It does explain, and I wanted to mention that. Here's a good example. The way that Rey trains. It didn't explain everything.
Yeah.
Yeah? but did it do a good job? Is it
No.
is it the right way of not explaining everything?
No, because we only see her. You see Luke Skywalker training a lot, and people
one
say
scene
that
or two
one
scenes,
scene,
no
but,
more than
but
two
we,
scenes.
we know that he's training a lot.
He's training a lot, yeah.
There, no. In the Last Jedi, we only see her moving the stick or whatever.
The saber.
And,
She's moving the saber,
and
the
that's
lightsaber
it.
around.
Fuck.
And then she can,
And she's always better than Kylo and better than anyone
Luke,
else.
She's better than Luke.
Yeah, for example.
I mean, look at Luke is Darth Vader's son. So he's probably one of the strongest Jedi out there. Not just because of that, but because he felt the Force even before he trained.
Yeah.
He could use the Force even before he trained, so we know he's powerful. And then he trains, and he has a hard time lifting his ship out of the swamp.
He trained with Yoda.
And he trained with Yoda. And this chick moves the lightsaber around for just a little bit, and then she can move mountains. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, this is pissing all over the audience. This is pissing all over the fans. And to be honest, it's offensive that you think you're going to buy that shit.
Unless there's something that we don't know. That's I don't know.
But, okay, here's my point. And again, we're going back to a point that we mentioned earlier. The hero has to have flaws.
Obviously.
And she doesn't have a fucking
You
flaw.
need the hero's journey.
Yeah, you need it. You need the hero to overcome something, but you need to understand how difficult that challenge is. I don't see a challenge.
It needs to fail, and it needs to everything
Luke
in the
faces
hero's
Darth
journey.
Vader,
Yes.
and he loses his hand.
Yeah.
He borderline. He chooses death
Yeah.
to succumbing to this villain.
Exactly.
He chooses to die. He's not expecting to survive that fall.
Yeah.
But he does, somehow. But he's not expecting it. It's completely unnatural for him to survive that fall. Maybe he had a little help from the Force. Maybe. That's not explained.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's
it's just
good,
like
yeah.
Obi-Wan, not the way he died.
Yeah.
You can fit it in your mind that he survived. And those were vents. And those are futuristic vents, by the way.
Yeah.
They could have been sucking every debris into that. So maybe he survived because of machinery. You don't know.
But that's left to your imagination. Come on.
Yeah.
That's it.
And why? Listen, let's not. You opened a can of worms there. Salt.
Salt?
Yeah.
In that planet.
In that planet.
Yeah. I
So
know.
someone steps on the ground. There's a footprint, and there's this guy who decides, let me just put my hand on his footprint and put it in my mouth. Oh, it's salt. Is that important?
No.
Well, I know it's just 5 or 10 seconds of the movie. I want those 10 seconds back, please. Put it. Replace it with anything else.
The whole movie. No.
It just fucking sucks, man.
And even as a standalone movie,
No
way.
It feels like the first topic that we went into today. It feels like they're just taking something and trying to make it into something different. When what you really want to do is create something different from the get-go.
Yeah.
What these ideas, this direction is not part of Star Wars.
It's
you want to build something new. Try that.
Yeah.
Firefly tried it.
Exactly.
And it did a pretty good job, even though it was canceled. It was a pretty good job. You know what else did it? What's the McFarlane's homage to Star Trek? What's the name of it? Not Orwell. It's not Orwell. It's
no. It's to Star Trek. It's I see it. I see it. No, I see it. I still see it. It's the Orville.
Yeah. So the Orville. So here you go.
Amazing show.
Amazing show. And
it's not Family Guy in space.
But
it's not at all.
This is my point. It's really, it's an homage to Star Trek.
It is.
He's clearly a huge
It's
fan.
a better Star Trek than Star Trek Discovery.
Yeah,
I'm sorry to
I've
say
heard
that.
people say that.
Yeah.
But if you put exactly what the Orville is, just put it in the Star Trek universe, it doesn't belong.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? It's too comedic. It's not the point, but it is completely an homage to the source material. Definitely, just like what's the movie?
Yeah, but it can be serious as well, huh? And it has one of the best space battles on TV that I've seen in a long time.
Really?
Yes.
Oh.
And totally unexpected. So it's really, really cool.
Okay, well, I need to rewatch it because I only watched like the first or second episode.
You should see the entire season. I think we're going to the third season now.
Okay,
I think so.
And you're talking about you said that it was a better Star Trek than
Star Trek Discovery.
Remember that movie with Tim Allen? and Galaxy Quest.
Galaxy Quest.
Oh man, it's
amazing
Galaxy Quest.
movie.
It's
Amazing
from 1999.
Yeah.
And you know, it was actually rated. I don't know where I found this rating. It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
It was probably 2011, and somewhere online, I remember reading something about it being the 7th best Star Trek movie, and it's not even a Star Trek movie.
It's not even, but it's brilliant.
It's brilliant. Yeah,
it's brilliant.
But let's go back to the point. We're kind of drifted away from the point. So explain everything or not explain everything.
Okay, for example, The Matrix.
Yeah, good point.
For example,
yeah.
The first one, it explains things but enough but because the main character needs to know, so we're finding things out as along with Neo.
Mm-hmm.
But then the second movie and especially the last one, that whole explanation with the architect and stuff, that just killed it for me.
Yeah.
We didn't need it.
Yeah, we didn't need it. It's a good example. It's a good example. And here's another good example. A director that I love, and sadly it's losing its luster. Christopher Nolan.
You think so?
Well, for me, I'm not talking about everybody.
Okay.
This is my point of view.
With what? Interstellar? Inception?
With Interstellar.
Dunkirk?
Well, Inception, no. I think Inception did a pretty good job of explaining just enough.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you could argue that it does explain everything, but it's in a thrilling way that you want to explain, because here's the source material: dreams.
Yes.
Nobody really knows a lot about dreams.
Yeah.
People theorize that it's basically unconscious material that's, psychological material that's deep down in your unconscious, not subconscious. People confuse that. Subconscious in the Freudian scheme is what divides the conscious material from the unconscious material.
Yes.
So that's the subconscious. What we're talking about is dreams. A lot of people theorize is the unconscious material finding its way through the subconscious into the conscious.
Okay.
And manifesting in some way. So, but nobody really knows what dreams are.
Yeah.
And more than that, he found a way to make it adventurous, to go into the dreamland, other people's dreamlands, and just make it a thriller. You want to understand how this works because you want to be able to do it.
So an explanation is kind of needed there.
It's kind of needed. Yeah. But then you go into the Batman movies. And
but wait. But the way you end Inception,
it doesn't explain everything.
It doesn't explain everything.
Yeah, that's
the
mystery.
Cool part.
That's the good part.
Yeah, but okay, going to
the Batman movies. By the way, I'm an absolute fan of Christopher Nolan's Batmans.
Yeah.
That's a period. There is no but there. The only thing there is that I was
too grounded
to see that it was too grounded on reality.
Okay.
Just a little bit too grounded.
A little bit.
And at the end, it just weaved like a tapestry around the whole narrative of the whole three movies, and that was just too neat for me. Yeah. And Batman is also about chaos.
It is.
And the second movie harks on about that. I mean, Joker's, Christopher Nolan's, and oh my God, blank. I'm drawing the blank. Who's Christopher Nolan's Joker? Heath Ledger's. So Heath Ledger's Joker is all about chaos. Okay.
Yeah.
Then why? The third movie, by the end, you have this thread going all through the three movies' narratives, and it could have been standalone.
For me,
movies.
the first ones were brilliant, incredible.
Yeah.
The third one, it was for me a really, really good movie, but
it's still one of the best Batman movies out there.
Okay. But
it does explain too much.
Yes and no.
Okay.
For me, things that it should explain, it doesn't. For example, how does Bruce Wayne returns to Gotham?
Oh, right, yeah.
How can he do it? I know he's Batman, but come on, the entire city is locked down. You have rivers, you have ice, you have lots of things. Yeah, so and how does he come back?
So maybe you do. Okay, I see what you mean. I personally thought when you started saying that, I thought it was.
If they explain a lot of things, why not do that?
Yeah. So when you started that, I thought you were going to go in a different direction. If you wanted to see the whole trip all the way to Gotham, I think it would have been really boring.
No,
because
not that.
you can figure out that this guy is resourceful. He's going to find a way.
Obviously.
But going into Gotham,
Yeah.
the last part
that
of the
we
trip.
should, because
Yeah, I think so.
that
I agree.
would show us Batman skills, for example, and that would be way better than other things that happen in the movie.
It
and
would also
from-
show how he's the world's greatest detective.
Exactly.
I mean, he has a keen intellect. It's not just about brute force.
Yeah.
So
and that's one thing that we don't usually see in Batman movies.
No, but
not the
oh man,
you see that thing almost ruined the movie for me.
Yeah.
And Bane being
a mercenary. I'm not a mercenary, but being from the League of Shadows.
No,
that's not in the.
No.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Not everything has to be in the mythology, but that's way far from the mythology.
Yeah. I mean, the Bane. To be honest, given Joel Schumacher's rendition of Bane, this was a
huge upgrade, and I love Tom Hardy.
This was not even an upgrade. This was a whole new thing.
That Bane was incredible until that part.
It was the best.
And he goes like that. And dies like that. That's a thing. Come on, fuck.
Yeah, but I mean, I didn't enjoy. You know what would have been great if they had been two villains taking it. I mean, for example, imagine the following: Bane causes this whole situation in Gotham.
Yes.
And then Talia al Ghul takes advantage of the situation.
Okay,
it has nothing to do with Bane.
Yeah, I could see
that happening
because she has the resources for.
She has the drive, the resources, the motivation.
Yeah. And I could see that.
Yeah, I could see that happening. But the two things being tied together, he's just explaining too much.
He's her puppet, almost. I feel like that, you know?
Yeah.
So
take it easy, dude. It's just a movie.
I know.
Don't start breaking shit. It's your shit.
But I really liked the movie, but that thing, I liked the battles. Even during the day, which for me, it was really cool,
really weird
in a Batman movie.
Yeah,
but
I think it was bold. I think
it was bold, and I really liked it. But yeah, some things up to near the end and in the middle, it didn't work for me. But hey, it's the best trilogy.
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's still one of the best Batman movies out there.
For me, it's okay. Just let me just tell you this. For me, it's Batman from '89.
Oh, the best one?
No. The best ones.
Mm-hmm.
It's that one. It's Batman Returns, actually, and the two Batman Begins and the Dark Knight. Dark Knight, and. But one of the best for me is Mask of the Phantasm. I think it's
Mask of the Phantasm.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean the animated movie?
The animated. That is a true Batman movie.
Yeah. You told me before, and I haven't
incredible.
watched it yet.
And the soundtrack from Shirley Walker. I get the chills.
Yeah.
Listening to that. It's one of the best
because
Batman
Mask of the Phantasm
ever.
is still part of the Batman animated series, isn't it? It's not
it is, and that those animated series were
true Batman.
Were for kids, but for adults as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's incredible. That movie, really good.
Yeah. And it's still voiced by. I mean, I love these things. You know that the voice actor that
it was already Kevin Conroy.
Yeah.
Already
in the animated series,
yeah.
And he did the voice, Batman's voice and Bruce Wayne's voice in the Arkham sagas, the games. By the way, if you people haven't played Arkham Asylum and Arkham City and Arkham Knight and
the last one,
it's just. It's amazing. These are amazing games. Arkham Knight is
the third one.
The third one is kind of, Kevin Conroy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let me just look it up to see when he started. I'm curious now to see when he started doing the Batman voice. But he's that is Batman's voice. That is Batman and in the same category, Luke Skywalker, Mark Hamill, does the best Joker ever.
Yeah.
And he's been doing Joker's voice for a long time. So, Batman games. The Arkham series in games. I mean, Arkham City is probably.
That's the second one, right? No.
Yeah, that's the second one, and it's probably one of the best Batman properties out there, in my view. I can't find. So Arkham Knight is the last one? No, it can't be. So there's Arkham Asylum. There's Arkham City.
Yes.
And I cannot find Arkham Knight video game. That's the last one? It can't be. Arkham
I think there are 4.
Yeah, there are 4, but I can't find the... Well, anyway, I played all of them, and they're all really good. So, but again, explaining everything. I have a problem with explaining everything because then my problem is, and you know this, is nothing's left to the imagination.
Okay.
If you explain everything, you're not leaving anything to the imagination.
Exactly.
For example, I just remembered Hook. Robin Williams.
Yes.
And John Williams soundtrack and Steven Spielberg directing.
With Dustin Hoffman as well.
I mean, you don't explain how things work in Neverland.
Yeah.
But the one thing you do say is why he grew up. He went out of Neverland and he became a grown-up. Yeah. And then you explain how he flies, but not entirely.
Not entirely, yes.
You say good thoughts make you fly.
Yeah. And that's it.
Happy thoughts make you fly.
That works.
And that works. You don't need to
It's a fantasy movie.
You know, if it had been George Lucas directing in 1999 or 2001, then he would have said, oh, because happy thoughts, they produce this sort of hormone and this sort of hormone. And come the fuck on. Yeah. You don't need all of that. So happy thoughts. Because then you're interacting with the audience. Then you're letting the audience know that we all feel the same. When we have happy thoughts in us, we kind of feel light. Yeah. You don't feel heavy. You feel like you're light. So maybe that makes you fly. It produces something in the imagination. That's great.
Yes.
And there's another thing. Interview with a Vampire. Anne Rice, according to Anne Rice, you become a vampire when you drink a vampire's blood.
Yeah.
Not explained.
Yeah.
Not explained how, but you can make it in your mind. Maybe
they just tell you what happens.
Yeah, it doesn't say, because it mixes with your blood and the cells and the hemoglobin. Fuck off with the hemoglobins.
I don't recall that many movies now, but I know that nowadays we're explaining a lot.
Yeah.
And yes, and for example, things don't need to be so dark, Batman needs to be dark.
Well, that's what we learned since The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Returns.
Batman should not be campy.
Well,
never.
it was.
It was campy with Adam West. I know.
And not just Adam West.
In Joel Schumacher as well.
In the animated series as well. Before, not Batman the animated series. I'm talking about the cartoons.
The
cartoons
from
the 70s. Yeah. And the 60s.
But for example, Superman shouldn't be dark at all.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't understand.
And Superman was dark in the movies. He's always brooding and stuff. That's not Superman.
And by the way, Hope, fuck off.
Hope.
Yeah. What does the S stand for? It's not an S. In my planet, it means hope.
Yeah. See, that's one thing we should. I don't care. I don't care.
Don't do
For
that.
me, it's an S or it's a
S,
symbol,
and it means Superman.
Yeah, something. But
it always has been an S.
We don't need to know. We don't need to know.
No, we don't. And we don't need to know how the crystals work completely.
No,
we don't need to.
No.
And come on. By the way, it's one thing to have Marlon Brando's face hovering in the Fortress of Solitude and talking to a future son.
I know where we're going.
It's another thing
to have
an almost a practically physical embodiment of your long dead father from a different galaxy. Is it a different galaxy or the other side of the galaxy? I can't remember.
I don't know.
Let us know in the comments below. And telling Clark or Lois Lane in the alien ship, look out for this guy. He's coming around the corner. Look out for...
Yeah, that for me didn't work. Yeah,
it didn't work. It's worse than not working.
One thing is he's telling his
he's passing
history,
on
information, not being there. Just
that
actively
pissed me off so bad.
Careful and
as if I needed any further reasons to be pissed off at that fucking movie.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Dude, it doesn't need to be dark. And Christopher Reeve did a fucking amazing job of, here's the thing. Bruce Wayne is a dark character wanting to be in the light. But he knows that he can't.
Yeah.
Because he carries too much with him. Right? Yes. And Superman and Clark Kent is the symbol of hope for humanity, but knowing what responsibility like that carries.
Yeah,
He needs to make choices that nobody else can.
Yes.
So he needs to have a knowledge of what it means to be in the dark side, but not being consumed by it.
And a true restraint.
And true restraint. That's
himself.
actually the main conflict between Batman and Superman. It's
Exactly.
not an ideological conflict.
It is not.
It is an ideological conflict. But what I mean is they understand where each other is coming from.
Yeah.
They understand why they make these choices. They try to be the barometer for the other side of the scale for another.
Yeah.
They don't inhabit the same universe in terms of dark and light.
Yeah, no, not at all.
They are, for example, Bruce Wayne is Anakin Skywalker realizing that the light side is still active in him.
Yes.
And Superman is Luke Skywalker realizing that he needs to be in touch with the dark side, but not give into it.
Yes.
That's what these characters
are. And you
are.
actually see that in their cities. Metropolis is like a golden city, for example.
Don't even get me
filled with
started.
lights. And Gotham, it's what you know. It's Gotham. It's a really
dark
dark city and stuff like that.
By the way, they are two versions of New York. They are not across the river from one another.
I actually thought that in the books, the Metropolis and Gotham were really far apart.
Yeah.
Not you couldn't see the other city.
Yeah.
In the comics, you always see Bruce Wayne taking a plane.
Yeah, that's
the bad plane or
a
a commercial airplane or something like that. I have
not a commercial airplane.
No.
Probably his private jet.
No, actually, I have a book with...
He takes a commercial?
Yeah.
What, Bruce Wayne in Couch?
Yeah.
In Coach? Not Couch. Sorry.
No.
Coach?
Maybe an executive, but it's
okay.
But yeah, so...
Yeah, again, explaining everything. And by the way, Martha! How do you know that name?
Yeah.
Man, people have been harking on it. We don't need to do this.
Yeah.
Maybe there's a balance. I mean, I think that's the conclusion of our conversation here, and let us know if you agree with us. The conclusion is there's a balance between explaining too much and explaining just a little so the audience knows.
Yeah.
Just so the audience can make the rest up. You don't need to put... Look at the Taken series. We talked about Taken before. I mean, it's a different kind of journey. You want to learn things as he goes along, but you got to explain where he got his training. You don't need to be specific what kind of training he has and what he can do with. No, you just need to know the basic, so we can enjoy the ride. Not every fucking thing. God damn it. And Batman Begins did a good job at it.
Yes.
You know, he didn't explain why the blades on his forearms. Why? I mean, nobody ever explained why Batman had blades on his forearms. But we see one fight with Ra's al Ghul, and you understand. Oh, that's helpful.
Yeah.
That's it.
And that's more than enough.
That's more than enough. Okay. Speaking of more than enough, I think we reached the end.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. I think that's going to be it for today. Let us know in the comments below what you thought. Check out our audio tales as usual. They're in the playlist. Right, you see that button over there? Just click the playlist button. You're going to find an audio tales playlist. Check them out. Let us know what you think below.
Yeah.
Let us know if they're film festival material and if is there another film festival where we can go with them. You know, you never know. You guys know better than we do.
Share, like, subscribe, hit that bell button.
Yep. Make sure you get the notifications because sometimes it's a little hard to get through to you. And tell all your friends and family, even your dog. And if your dog has a Patreon account, look us up on Patreon and Subscribestar. We are on both platforms. Yeah. And looking forward to hearing what you guys have to say about this episode. Let us know what we missed, what we could have talked about, and we'll leave it for a later Bastercast. What do you say?
Yeah,
sounds good.
Yeah, sounds
and we'll let you know when we do the live stream with Faust and other horrible movies that I'm sure you're going to let us know. All right, gang. Okay. Thanks for listening. See you next time.
See ya.
Hey, you bastard. Did you know we do a lot more than podcasts? What, you don't believe me? Check out these 2 videos. Still here, huh? Well, then I dare you to click that subscribe button. What are you, chicken? Do it. And hit that like button and the bell while you're at it. See you soon.